Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Laura Stuart. I'm a British revert to Islam, and I have decided to take part in the Stand Fast for Justice campaign, which is run by cage prisoners and Reprieve. I'm embarking now on a 7-day hunger strike, and I have also made intention to fast the 6 days of Shawwal concurrently. I made my decision to participate in this campaign because I physically wanted to show some solidarity with our brothers, not just in Guantanamo Bay, but in Palestine, for whom justice seems to be completely absent. Despite being cleared for release, most of the prisoners are sitting in Guantanamo Bay, languishing there after more than 11 years, and there seems to be no sign of any change. So now it's about 20 minutes past midnight on the 9th of August. Yesterday was Eid Day. I couldn't start my hunger strike in the last few days of Ramadan, although I'd already made the decision I definitely wanted to do it, because of course we're not allowed to fast on Eid Day. So yesterday was Eid Day, and at midnight I started my 7 days. Taking the decision to do this was a little bit complicated by many people suggesting that participation in a hunger strike is not allowed for Muslims. So I did find out that scholars have been asked, and as long as we take one date at Sahur and one date at Iftar, that we can do this within the limits of Islam. So here I am, embarking on day 1 of Shawwal, day 1 of hunger strike, and I'm thinking, why am I taking part in this? Well, since I became a Muslim and learned so much more from alternative media about the many injustices that the British government and other governments, I should say Western governments, have participated in and are complicit in, I felt as a British person who really genuinely believed that our country was a model of justice and a beacon of justice to the world. And I really believed that. I grew up believing that British people were fair and just, and unfortunately, once you become a Muslim, you become exposed to stories of great injustice, and you realize that although British people in general are very just and very fair, they don't often know the true facts. The reality is distorted by the media, the mainstream media, and I would go as far as to say that people are pretty brainwashed. You can actually convince people that the victims are the oppressors, and the oppressors are the victims, that we here are victims of these Muslims who they want to take all our freedoms, and they want to end our way of life, and this kind of thing that is heard too often. And people actually believe that. People seem to actually believe that, but if you looked at it through a different lens, you'd see that actually no, we are the ones perpetrating so many injustices. We are the ones invading other people's countries. We are the ones involved in extrajudicial murder, murder without trial, by drones. We in the UK now have a drone base in the UK. We're sending unmanned drones to kill people who are all too often innocent. And those innocent people are not humanized. They're not people with names, with stories, with families, with faces that we can recognize. They're portrayed in the media as statistics, mere collateral damage. At least with the Guantanamo detainees, who we have names, thanks to organizations like Reprieve and Cage Prisoners, we can actually look up and see their faces and read a little bit of their story and know their names, and try as we might, we can't really understand what they might be going through. I did, as a result of my participation in the Freedom Flotilla and on board as a passenger of the Mavi Marmara, have the misfortune to have my own liberty taken away from me and to be put in prison in Israel, a destination that we weren't aiming at all to visit. But that was just for a few days. But I can tell you, even just a few days, 3 or 4 days, when your liberty is taken away from you, and when you see people killed, innocent and unarmed people killed, and you're taken captive, kidnapped really, and put in a cell, you are under somebody else's control, completely under their control. And you're not sure, you know that these people are capable of killing. You've seen that what I saw, the people that they'd killed and the wounded, so I knew these people are capable of killing, and you don't really know what's going to happen next. And that feeling when you're inside a cell and you have your liberty taken away, and you have your documents taken away, and you have no freedom, and you have a door which slides shut electronically, presumably at the push of a button somewhere in a control room, and you can't get out, then you can begin to imagine just a little bit, but still not really compare what you're going through to somebody who's been a victim of extraordinary rendition, of torture, of not being found guilty of any crime, not charged with any crime, yet still languishing in a prison cell after more than 11 years. I don't think any of us can really imagine that. I know that when I was in prison for a few short days, that my children were frantic, not knowing what had happened to me. And I really can sympathize with the families of the Guantanamo detainees and what they've gone through, subhanallah. Some of their children haven't seen their fathers. They were born just before their fathers were detained. They've never experienced a hug from their father. So what is the least that I can do? I've signed the petitions. We signed the petitions in our thousands. For the first time, I actually saw brothers in my own local mosque, Finchley Mosque, signing the petition. I thought, Allahu Akbar, finally the brothers are motivated to take an action. But no, William Hague keeps trying to convince us that he's doing everything he can. I don't believe him. I'm afraid I don't have any faith in the British government taking action. I've seen how weak they are against the war crimes and injustices piled upon the Palestinian people by the Israeli government, the State of Israel. And to me, the words of William Hague, Alistair Burt, Obama, just empty words. So I am under no illusion that my 7-day hunger strike is going to lead to William Hague taking any action. However, what I hope that this can perhaps achieve is to bring more Muslims into activism, into not trying to separate our religion from politics. No, what is happening to our brothers and our sisters, be it the families of detainees, or be it the victims of what is going on by our government's hands in their countries. We cannot say that is politics. That does not involve us. The plight of our brothers and sisters, wherever they are in the Ummah, is our plight too. And if we don't speak out for them, if we don't stand in solidarity with them, then who will? So I ask my brothers and sisters who are watching this to please join. If you feel you can do it, join the hunger strike. If you see a petition, sign it. Sign it. If you believe that you can write to your MP, write to your local MP, or go to their local office and tell them that you're not happy with the situation and what is our government doing about it. Take some action. Yes, the power of dua. Yes, we can make dua as well. But what about the action with your hand and with your tongue? And what about the action with your own body? We can't go there and set our brothers free, but maybe in some way we can use our body to create a movement, a bigger campaign, more awareness. Maybe we can just do something. And even if it doesn't lead to them being released any quicker, at least they'll know that they're not forgotten. At least they'll know that there are people who care enough to take some action and to just take small steps, whatever is within our capabilities. I have to say finally that I am a little bit anxious. Although I've done years of fasting Ramadan and I regularly fast Mondays and Thursdays, alhamdulillah, I don't really know how my body will react to this. So in a way, I'm testing myself as well. I've tested myself and my endurance a few times over the last few years, participating in road convoys that definitely weren't comfortable, and of course in the flotilla. And so I view this a little bit as a test of my resolve as well, to see how much I can endure. And anyway, I'll stop now, and inshallah I'll make a few more video blogs and write a little bit more about my feelings as the time progresses. Thank you if you've taken the time to watch this, and salam alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.